Hello, this is PG, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Dead Space 2. The footage is from the Xbox 360 version, but it was captured on the Xbox Series S. Dead Space 2 is a sci-fi survival horror game developed by Visceral Games. The game is set on a space station and continues the journey of Isaac Clarke as he fights against the necromorph threat. There is a multiplayer mode, but this review is solely based on the single player story mode. Okay, gameplay, well, it's survival horror at its finest. You'll be slowly exploring the space station, scavenging for ammunition and trying to survive long enough to replenish to the next breakpoint. It is a truly impeccable example of how to do survival horror right. You never feel relaxed enough to saunter around without a care in the world. Or if you do, you're quickly brought crashing down to earth by some horrific creatures baying for your blood. I think it's the shocking nature of the enemies paired with the dynamic use of lighting and the atmospheric sound that makes almost every moment of Dead Space 2 something to endure, but also something to enjoy. Now, the enemies, they're called necromorphs. Basically, they reanimate dead things, and they do not mess around, let me tell you. The only way to stop them is to take off their limbs, and if you fail to do so, they just keep on coming. As well as tense survival horror and really good combat, it's got some truly memorable action set pieces. They hit you hard, overwhelm your senses, and leave you in a state of shock as the dust settles. What else? Well, thankfully you don't just have the laser weapons to fight off the necromorphs, you've also got these special powers in your rig. For example, you can slow down time. This helps you pass through doors. It also allows you to slow down your enemy attacks if you're facing a big group. If you're running out of ammunition, don't worry about it. You can use a sort of telekinesis. This allows you to pick up an object and shoot it through the air like it's a makeshift projectile. So it's a very cool sort of last resort. And it's these sorts of aspects about the game that add to the action. They make it feel unique, they add depth, and it's also really interesting when you pair that off with the environmental puzzle solving and the low sense of gravity in some sections. Now, as you kill the necromorphs, they drop credits, they drop other stuff. Every so often you'll find a little room. This is where you can save, you can store items, you can use a workbench. There's a store, you can purchase new gear, ammunition, you can convert schematics that you've found along the way. But it's the workbench that's really useful. It lets you improve either your rig or your weapons. Now, what you upgrade with the power nodes, that's up to you. And it affects how you play it. You know, do you want a physical behemoth type character with a really strong physical rig? Or do you want a lightly armoured rig but weapons that really do heavy damage? You know, the choice is yours. Now, in terms of the game world, it is a believable and disturbingly realistic setting, even though it's in space. You know, very creepy, amazing use of lighting, shocking flashbacks, nightmares, enemies. There's so much here that just add depth. In terms of visuals, it has, as I said, great lighting, really good detailed character models, horrifying enemies, my god. And a game world, again, that felt believable, even though it's terrible, you know, you feel like it could be real. Another immersive aspect is the lack of a visual HUD. Now, the game uses a live HUD. It pops up as part of your rig. The rig shows your health, like without the menu being visible, it's like a light that goes up your spine. Your ammo counter pops up when you lift your gun. Again, it's not a menu, it's all integrated in sort of like a hologram form. And all of these things really help. They just help you immerse into the absolute nightmare that you're stuck in. Great. In terms of sound, the voice acting is top drawer stuff, the sound effects are truly immersive, and the music is perfectly suited, whether it be that slow, tense style or the bombastic, overbearing thing you see in the action sequences. It is a true audio masterclass. Okay, verdict. Dead Space 2 is a rare thing indeed. It's a sequel that not only carries on the good work of the first game, it improves on it in pretty much every way. Yes, it does inject a bit more action into proceedings compared to the first one, but it doesn't sacrifice any of the tense survival horror goodness that the series is synonymous with. It is an absolutely insane, action-packed, horrific and totally cool game that puts the majority of modern AAA games to shame. Imagine Alien meets Event Horizon and The Thing, all set in space. You know, it gave me goosebumps, it made me sweat during the pure survival gold moments, and you know, it does leave you feeling quite sorry for poor old Isaac. Like, imagine the PTSD this guy's going to suffer with after this, bloody hell. Anyway, let's give it a score. I think we know where we're going, don't we? I would give Dead Space 2 a 10 out of 10. One of, if not the best survival horror game of all time. Love it. Okay, that is the review. Thank you for watching. This is PG, signing off. Cheers.